Rise and Shine Rwanda, it's Tuesday the 14th of April.
Coming up on today's Rise and Shine Rwanda.
Discover the Kigali Genocide Memorial Center.
An app transforming the lives of women genocide survivors for this week's Tech Tuesday.
And we visit a sonic project in the making, set to fill Rwanda with sound.
Good morning, it's just after 7 o'clock in the morning and you're watching Rise and Shine Rwanda with me, Regis Isheja.
And me, Makeda Mahario. Over the next hour, we'll be bringing you all the latest news, business, and sports headlines from here in Rwanda and around the world. And the Rise and Shine team are here with us in studio. Fidelis, you're back. We're happy. We missed you yesterday. Tell us what you have in the world of business.
Well, in business, I'm sure all of you have been hearing about the Chike app, but so I had to go and follow up and find out what it's all about. And I have to say, it's a very amazing initiative. We'll get to learn about that today.
Okay, sounds amazing. And Arnold in the world of sports.
Lots to do with NBA. The playoffs are here, starting this Saturday. And then the draws for the African Cup of Nations were made over the weekend. So we're going to indulge with that. What are Rwanda's chances of qualifying for AFCON 2017?
Okay, awesome. All that and more is still to come. But first, Rise and Shine story of the day.
Created by a joint partnership of the Kigali City Council and the UK-based Aegis Trust, the Kigali Genocide Memorial Center is situated in the Gasabo district, about 3 kilometers from downtown. It is the best known and most visited memorial site in Rwanda. As we commemorate the 21st anniversary of the genocide against the Tutsi, many tourists and local citizens flock to the venue just like every year to pay homage to those lost in 1994. Take a look. They've all been here. From world leaders to movie stars, many have visited the Kigali Genocide Memorial here in Gisozi. Congo's President Denis Sassou Nguesso, UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon, former US President George W. Bush, former French President Nicolas Sarkozy, superstar actress Angelina Jolie, former UK Prime Minister Tony Blair and former South African President Thabo Mbeki, and many, many more. This is where they come to pay their respect to more than 1 million souls lost in the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi.
Urwibutso ruri hano kuva mu 1999 rwatangiye ari urwibutso aho twahariye gushyingura mu cyubahiro abacu bazize jenoside cyane cyane abaguye mu mujyi wa Kigali mu 2004 nibwo urwibutso rwafunguwe ku mugaragaro cyane cyane none hashyirwamo n'inzu y'amateka kugira ngo dushobore gusobanukirwa neza amateka yabaye ku bacu bashyinguye hano.
The Memorial Center was created by a joint partnership of the Kigali City Council and the UK-based Aegis Trust.
Twashoboye kugira intambwe dutera yo kuva mu mwijima wa jenoside mu 1994 kugeza ubu ngubu hari intambwe tumaze gutera mu kwiyubaka, mu gusana imitima yacu, mu kubaka igihugu cyacu, mu kurwanya ingengabitekerezo jenoside, mu kwimakaza umuco w'amahoro ndetse no kugira ngo kwibuka bishobore kuba imwe mu nkingi zikomeye zo kubaka igihugu cyacu.
At the Memorial Center, you'll find oral testimonies collected from different Kigali city quarters, documents, publications, human bones and skulls that have been treated for conservation, but also weapons used during the genocide like machetes, clubs, and swords.
hari abanyarwanda hari abanyamahanga tubasobanurire tugerageze gusangira amateka yacu twongera inyigisho cyane cyane inyigisho zigisha kuri jenoside zigisha no kwirwanya cyane cyane ingengabitekerezo yayo harimo n'abayipfobya ndetse n'abayihakana tukagira umutima wo kumva yuko gupfobya jenoside ni ugukora mu nkokora igihugu nanone abanyarwanda bakabishyira mu mutima bakemera yuko kandi bagaranira ko jenoside itazongera kuba ukundi.
If you're ever in Kigali, I suggest you to come here and pay your respect. It's a very humbling experience. Regis Sheja, Rise and Shine Rwanda. Now, guys, have you been to the memorial? I will assume yes. How often? How many times have you guys been?
I've only been there once.
Once.
Yeah.
Once a year since I got back, I think, on average,
Right.
or more, because some events I held there even after the memorial, so I tend to go there for some events, movies, genocide, concerning the genocide. Yeah, so.
Now, there's a way foreigners and tourists, take in what they see there and what they're taught about what happened here in 1994. What was you guys' experience like when you went there?
Well, I went to the Genocide Memorial just once, and it was just when I came to Rwanda for the first time. So it was extremely intense. I learned so many things that I didn't know before, and because they have a lot of interactive features there, it was, I'm sorry, not interactive, but what do you call this? Multimedia
Right,
things,
right.
like videos, photos, and there's also, things that are written down. There is clothes, and like you said in the video, there is weapons and stuff like that. It was very realistic. I had heard about, what had happened. I'd seen movies, I'd read things, but when you see all of those things together, it's extremely eye-opening and quite shocking, actually, when you go there for the first time.
Right.
So it was emotional, it was intense for me, when I went there.
I feel like for me, it changed me. I mean, like you say too, I'd heard about the genocide, I'd read books, but when you see this live, it's like you're in the moment at that particular moment, especially the videos that are there and these people explain this to you. And that's why I always say the best way to understand what really happened in Rwanda is to go to these memorials and seeing all these things, because you get to learn so much that you didn't even know.
Now, Arnold, what's some of the things that you've learned while there? I mean, like I said in the report, there's been a lot of world leaders, celebrities, and the likes. But what, as a Rwandan, what have you learned from being there?
One, as someone who didn't grow up home, it's very emotional, I think, and it's at the same time it's very educative. You get to know how the eight stages of the genocide. You get to know how it wasn't a robust killing, that it was very systematic and it was planned. You get to understand how best it can be prevented. And as a young Rwandan, it embeds in you of the history this country has gone through and where best and how you can contribute to making sure these atrocities never happen again.
Now, Freddy Mutanguha, who I was talking to in the report, who's the director of the center, of the memorial center, was telling me that each year it gets bigger and bigger and it attracts a lot of tourists. And sometimes some of the tourists that have been there come back because they've learned that they've added some things that weren't there, like kids' drawings and their interpretation of what happened in 1994. What do you guys see the memorial becoming? Because there's a lot of memorials all over the city, but that one is like the main one. How do you see it growing? How bigger can it be?
I think every year they've been creative and they're putting in new, I think, pieces of what the genocide carries. Things like the rules, the 10 Commandments, that had been scribbled by the previous by the genocidal government that instigated the genocide. You know, so many people don't know how it happened. So, like maybe the generation I belong to, the generation Fidelis belongs to, we learn these things that there were rules and there were hallmarks for this to take part. So the new drawings that have been created for this year, you know, again, reconnect you emotionally to what really transpired in the 100 days in 1994.
What did you learn about the memorial that you didn't know before? Because I'm assuming you've also been there.
It was my first time. That was my first time. I had been worried and scared.
This was your first time?
This was my first time. I came back home 2 years ago, and I've always dreaded going because I didn't know how I was going to react once there. But this one, it was a task, so I had to go. And it didn't go as bad as I had thought. It was actually very powerful. The drawings really, because they all each has a meaning, and it's very powerful because it's the way kids interpret what happened. That's pretty telling and pretty powerful. But besides that, no, it didn't go as I had planned. I thought I was gonna get there and then maybe think about exactly what happened and then be in the moment, which I didn't want to do. But I suggest everybody goes at least once. It's worth it. And then Freddie was telling me that each year there's going to be features added. So maybe go multiple times if you have the the luxury of living here.
Exactly, that's what I was going to say. I like the way that every year they try to incorporate something new, and especially a message of peace and harmony and how we can build a country. So I like the fact that they're adding that to it. So they're showing you this is what happened, but this is what we can do
There's
now.
optimism for the future, which he wanted to hammer home while I was doing the interview. It was like, yes, we're here to remember. Yes, it's been 21 years. We have to put the emphasis and the focus on what happened in '94 so it doesn't happen again. But at the same time, we have to show that we're a nation that rose from all that, and that's where it is right now, and we're going forward and accomplishing great feats.
Absolutely. Well, great piece there. I didn't know that much about it, so glad that you did that. You're watching Rise and Shine Rwanda. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Connect to Lusaka 3 times a week starting 27th March. Enjoy comfort and safety at affordable fares to 17 other destinations across Africa and the Middle East.
Fly our dream to the heart of Africa.
How can there still be genocide?
When lessons should have been learned.
When we know how to stop and prevent it.
It simply should never have happened.
This is the light of remembrance, the light of life. And as long as I live, the spirit of Rwanda will never die.
Twisenga mediatrice nyuma ya jenoside ubuzima bwari bukomeye kubera abantu haragifite agahinda kenshi mu mitima ariko uko imyaka yagiye iza twagiye twishyiramo icyizere cyo kubaho kandi twari dufite ubuyobozi bwiza buturenganura.
Nitwa Tuyishime Sauda, nkaba ntuye mu mudugudu w'Izuba mu kagari ka Rukiri ya mbere. Nyuma ya jenoside ngewe nagize icyizere numva nkomeye muri ngewe. Mbere umukobwa ntago yagiraga ijambo ngo abe yahagarara mu bandi ngo avuge, abe yayobora, abe yagira n'uburenganzira ku mutungo w'iwabo, ariko ubu umuntu arazungura nta kibazo. Kubw'ibyo rero ngewe nkaba narabonye rwose byaranteje imbere.
Nitwa Hategekimana Yozefu, abantuye muri uyu mudugudu w'Izuba, akagari ka Rukiri ya mbere. Nkaba ariho nanarokokeye. Nyuma ya jenoside rwose nubwo abavandimwe banjye bapfiriye ubwinshi ariko niho natangiye kugirira ubuzima nakwita bwiza. Nari maze imyaka 23 narabuze akazi, aho ngiye gusaba akazi hose bakambwira ngo mbese nakora iki, ariko ngiye niyumvamo ibishobozi, abo twiganye bose bo bakabona imyanya, ngiye bakambwira ko ntacyo nshoboye. Nyuma ya jenoside rero nabonye akazi ku buryo kangiriye akamaro gakomeye cyane. Ubu ngubu ndi mu rwego rw'abantu bamerewe neza mu gihugu, ntacyo mbura, simfite byose kuko ntawe ubigwiza ku isi, ariko nyuma ya jenoside byambereye iby'akarusho mu buzima.
Welcome back to Rise and Shine Rwanda. Let's get to today's business stories. Fidelis Karangwa has the details.
Business stories making headlines today. The Rwandan subsidiary of IM Holdings is set to go public, with the Rwandese government selling over 19% of its stake in an initial public offering expected to be completed later this year. Officials say they have communicated to the holdings company the intention to sell their stake through an IPO to the public and expect to earn millions of shillings in the share sale that will leave IM's interest in the subsidiary unchanged at 55%. Subscribers of pay TV Star Times will have to pay more money to enjoy their favorite programs, as the firm plans to increase monthly subscription fees for most of its bouquets. This change is expected to happen effective May 1st, where there will be an increase of about 1,500 francs to the normal cost of the bouquets that the company offers. This has been caused by various factors like inflation, satellite lease costs, programming costs, and efficiencies within the company. And the government has rejected a proposal from the private sector to scrap value-added tax on insurance services offered to farmers. The Ministry of Finance recently exempted VAT on processed animal feeds in order to reduce prices in the domestic market, improve livestock production and competitiveness, but rejected exceptions on insurance services in the sector. The National Bank of Rwanda statistics show that agriculture suffered the highest number of loans rejection last year, as over 50% of applications were rejected. And it is expected that the sector will continue facing challenges like worsening the liquidity levels. Now, during the 1994 genocide, over 1 million Tutsi were killed, with 300 to 400 survivors left behind after this traumatic period. Among the survivors, a big number of women who lost their children, husbands, families, and friends, and have had very little to survive on thereafter. Today, we meet an innovator who is determined to improve these women's lives by living standards. Take a look. There are still many cases of elderly women who are forced to live in very poor conditions, and among them are some who survived the 1994 genocide and have since had to do small jobs to afford the necessities like food, water, and shelter. It is for this reason that the Inchike app was created to change this situation, and in just a period of 1 year, they've been able to build some of these women homes, provided them with food as well as clean water. This year, the app, which runs for a period of 100 days, seeks to build more homes for these women, and with a contribution of as little as 100 francs, we Rwandans will now be able to save our own people one day at a time. Karangwa Fidelis, Rise and Shine Rwanda. And joining us now in studio is Aphrodis Mutangana, the co-initiator of Inchike app. Welcome, Aphrodis, to the show.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So, Inchike app is, from what you've explained to me, is basically for women who lost people in genocide and are basically survivors who are still living under poor conditions. So, why did you choose women? I mean, we see very many cases of people working with children and other people. So, why did you specifically decide to work with women?
Thank you. I decided to start Inchike initiative after visiting a lady called Karitasi. She's 85 years old now. She had 9 children, and 8 of them were killed, and the surviving one was raped and contracted HIV. In 2000, she passed away. When I visited her, I saw she's advanced in age. She cannot walk, and I decided to create something that can help those people, those elderly survivors of 94 genocide against Tutsi. So the reason why I'm focusing on helping elderly survivors, but also the other part of the fund we raise go to help students who dropped out school due to financial means.
So how does this app work exactly? Since I know you're supposed to launch it in a few days, but it's been working for a couple of months, actually since 2014. So how does it work for someone who wants to understand exactly what it is?
Yeah, we have 3 platforms. The first one is a USSD code where you take your phone, you dial *654#, and the app asks you to choose the language. After choosing the language, we ask you to subscribe. Then after subscribing, we ask you the amount you want to donate daily for 100 days of commemoration. The minimum is 50 Rwandan francs and the maximum is 100. The second platform is we have mobile money accounts. We have MTN mobile money, which is a normal number 078850 0122. Tigo Cash, you just dial *200 *1 *20,000#. With Airtel Money, you can go on, you can dial *182# and you follow instruction.
So
and we have the last one is a donation online where you visit our website www.inshike.rw and you can donate online. We have a PayPal account, so you can donate if you are not in Rwanda.
And since you started, how many women have you been able to help so far?
We started last year. As I said, it's a 100 days initiative. Last year we raised 1.7 million Rwandan francs. Last year we had objective of raising a cup of milk to an elderly survivor, and in the whole country we have 859. And the last year objective was to raise a cup of milk. So this year we decided to dream big. We want to build for them 20 houses, and every house will be hosting 8 people, 8 elderly survivors. So, and which means we want to build 20 houses, which will host 160 elderly survivors of genocide.
So now that we know, you mentioned something about it running for 100 days only. So why 100 days? Why not have it run throughout the whole year? Is there a particular reason? And is it going to be different this year for someone who might not want to donate now, but might want to donate maybe in December or in November, not necessarily during this 100 days period?
Thank you. Last year it was our first time. We are trying to connect to see how technology can contribute, and this year it will continue. Yeah, it's a 100 days for commemoration. We'll be helping elderly survivors of genocide, and then after it will continue to help veterans, and that's the whole. It will be a national donation platform.
Okay, great. So now the other thing I wanted to ask you. So you're one of the people who directly developed this app yourself. Have you always been an app developer? Have you been an IT person all your life? So what are some of the challenges that you experienced even while creating this app?
Okay, thank you. My background is not in IT. I'm agriculturist. And I have I did crop production and horticulture at the university, and we have African saying that says if you want to go fast, you go alone, but if you want to go far, you go with others. So I don't know how to develop. I have developers, so I just conceive and I approach developers to develop this app for us.
Okay, great. And what would you say is the future of the Inshike app? Are you planning to maybe start up other apps that should help other people, or not necessarily the genocide survivors, and maybe that can help deal with other problems that the people in Rwanda are facing so far?
Yeah, thank you. Yes, as I said, for 100 days we'll be helping elderly survivors of genocide. But after 4th July, what we'll be doing, we'll be helping veterans, so that we can help them to give back to the community. This is something as young entrepreneurs we are doing to give back to the community.
Thank you very much for coming to the show, and we wish you all the best.
You're
I hope
welcome.
people will actually donate
Thank you.
towards your cause. Well, you're up to date today's business headlines. Sports news coming up next in just a minute with Arnold Quizera.
uko twari tumeze uko mbere igihugu cyari kimeze nuko kimeze ubu ngubu biratandukanye cyane. Ubu ngubu turiga, abatari bafite ubushobozi bwo kwiga twabashije kwiga, bashyizeho 12 years, umuntu arigira ubuntu nta kibazo, igihugu cyacu kiri gutera imbere.
Nishimira ibintu byinshi ariko ndavuga mu magambo atatu. Icyambere nishimira ni umutekano igihugu gifite, kuko umutekano w'u Rwanda ndabizi ni intangagyo mu aka karere ndetse nta mwana atawubona. Icya kabiri nishimira ni agaciro igihugu cyacu gifite mu mahanga, uko u Rwanda rufatwa ni iby'agaciro nta bitahesha agaciro. Icya gatatu nishimira ni umwe Abanyarwanda bafite. Abanyarwanda twunze ubumwe, kandi iyo mufite ubumwe byose mudushyika, ahubwo muri make nishimira umutekano, agaciro igihugu cyacu gifite mu mahanga ndetse n'ubumwe bw'Abanyarwanda.
Ubu ngubu ibintu rwose ni byiza, bimeze neza, umuntu arireba muri leta akisangamo, nta kibazo kihabaye. Kagame yaduhaye amatungo n'ibindi byinshi, dore n'ubu twabonye n'umuriro, twabonye amavuriro bugufi yacu, twabonye amashuri bugufi yacu. Ibyo byose ni iterambere.
Welcome back to Rise and Shine Rwanda. Time now for your sports news. I'm Arnold Quizera. Starting with football, Amavubi head coach John McKinstry has said that finishing second in Group H of the 2017 African Cup of Nations qualifiers is a realistic target for Rwanda. Rwanda was pitted against Ghana, Mozambique and Mauritius in Group H after the draws were announced. At the ongoing CAF Congress at Marriott Hotel in Cairo, Gabon was handed the rights to host the biennial event, beating Algeria and Ghana, who are also bidding to host it. The last time Rwanda was drawn against Ghana in the AFCON qualifiers was in 2003. The Black Stars defeated Amavubi 4-2 in Accra but fell to a 1-0 defeat in Kigali. Jordan Spieth became the second youngest winner in Masters history as he completed his wire-to-wire victory at Augusta with a very few nervy moments in Sunday's final round. The 21-year-old led Justin Rose by 4 shots going into the last 18 holes, and with Rose struggling for any fluence, he cruised home for 4 shots clear of the Englishman and Phil Mickelson to claim his first green jacket and maiden major championship. Spieth took the lead on Thursday, opening the tournament with a sensational round of 64, and he never gave away his advantage, breaking a number of records, including one for most birdies, which was secured on his back nine. Moving on to basketball, in the NBA, the San Antonio Spurs' great run of form continued as they picked up their 11th win in a row over the Phoenix Suns to move second in the Western Conference playoff standings. Tim Duncan had 22 points and 10 rebounds to lead the Spurs to their 11th straight victory, 107-91 over the Phoenix Suns on Sunday night. Kawhi Leonard had 18 points and 9 rebounds, Marco Bellinelli added 13 points, and Tony Parker had 10 points and 5 assists to help San Antonio improve to 55 for 26. Another team in great run of form, Boston Celtics, continued that resurgence, dispelling a weekend Cleveland Cavaliers 117-78 to close in on a playoff spot.
All right, Arnold. So when you think about what Rwanda can do when it comes to the African Cup of Nations qualifiers. I mean, they're in a group that's really complicated, the Group H. They have Ghana in it. Mauritius and Mozambique look like teams that can be beaten. But then again, you cannot take Mozambique for granted, can you?
I think you can't take any team in Africa for granted, especially at home. When you look at the history of African football, teams that win away from home, it's only about 20% or 25%. I mean, you must get the results at home. So Rwanda, realistically, I think it needs to win all its home matches. That's Ghana. Ghana game won't be easy. On paper, Ghana has the best squad in Africa at the moment. Then you look at a team like Mauritius and Mozambique. I think that those will be more realistic. APR recently played the Mozambique champions in the African Champions League, and it got a good result. And I think that will be a psychological boost for the Rwanda national team, Amavubi. APR went away and drew against Deportivo La Sportif from Mozambique in the African Champions League. And I think with majority of the current squad being best with of APR players, and I think that's a team will carry on into the African qualifiers, Cup of Nations qualifiers that start in September. I think Rwanda it's realistic to say the coach came in for number 2, but even Ghana has had mixed results of lately in the qualifiers. When you saw the last qualifiers for the previous Africa Cup of Nations, Uganda was able to go and get a result away in Kumasi, Ghana. And I think Amavubi, we are very terrible travelers. We are very poor travelers away from home. But you feel, if the squad is molded right, why can't we go and get a draw away in Accra or Kumasi in Ghana and then come back and win at the Amavubi Stadium? Now,
Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson were, the big-time golf players we've had in the past 20 years. Now, when you think about it, Rory McIlroy was the new sensation. Jordan Spieth stole the highlights at the Masters.
I think so many newspapers came out to call him Michael Jordan Spieth after his Masters win. He dominated from day one, from Thursday. And it wasn't accidental, because the week before when we talked about the Masters here, I think, when I read out the news about the Masters, I had Jordan Spieth in mind as my favorite going into this tournament, and I did tweet that out to a few people. This 21-year-old has been in sensational form, and he is going to be a threat to Rory McIlroy. I think Tiger Woods can't. He had his best tournament at this previous Masters. He came in number 6 going into the final round. The final round, which is many call his red round. He didn't pull off a great performance. He bogeyed at the 18th hole, then pulling off a 16 under final total score. He settled for 17th spot with Sergio Garcia. But Tiger Woods, I think he can come in and still compete with these youngsters. Not at that level. We'll never see the Tiger Woods I think we saw in between 97 and 2005. But again, Jordan Spieth may be the future of golf. Many have tipped Rory McIlroy to be the future of this sport, but I don't see him replacing Tiger Woods, and no one will ever replace Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods didn't replace Jack Nicklaus or Arnold Palmer, so all these are different players, and I think they shouldn't. It's unfair to compare them, but Jordan Spieth right now is the man in the golfing circles.
All right, so from now on, I just let you take the reins. Do what you do best.
NBA championship, San Antonio, your San Antonio Spurs, and I will label it that way. Your San Antonio Spurs are on a great run of form. Are they the best team in the West?
Well, they're not my San Antonio Spurs. My team is the Chicago Bulls, so I'll ride with them as far as they go. I don't know how far they can go, but they're getting healthier, which I'm very happy about. Derrick Rose is back. I don't know for how long. Now, the Spurs, when the Bulls get eliminated, I pull for them, because they play a type of basketball that that's really dear to my heart. I mean, they compete. It's a 12-man rotation. You never know where the danger is going to come from. They all totally adhere to what Greg Popovich has been teaching since 1996. So it doesn't matter what's the player. It's about a system. So whether Marco Bellinelli comes in, whether Thiago Splitter comes in, they all contribute in their own way. Are they the best team? I don't know.
But Spurs, can they last? The Spurs to me, Spurs is a kind of team that it's day by day team. Are they healthy? Yeah.
That's the key with the Spurs. I mean, if they're healthy, that's a big asterisk every time.
Because when you look now, when you look at the NBA standings right now, Spurs in second take on 7th place Memphis in the West.
Dallas, the Mavericks.
Sorry, Dallas.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dallas. And if they beat Dallas, because Memphis are 5th, yeah, then they take on the winner between Memphis and the Houston Rockets.
That's how the standings stand right now.
Yes.
With the West, it changes every night. So
Exactly. So if Spurs, unfortunately, get Memphis, they don't have Thiago Splitter right now. He's not healthy.
It's a day-to-day situation, but he's not playing.
Tony Parker, his 10 points in the game against Phoenix Suns is his highest, yeah, in the past 5 games.
No, he actually scored 26 points 2 games ago.
No,
But
he has been average. He has been 2 points in the first night against Houston Rockets.
Yes.
He had 2 points.
That's the beauty of the Spurs.
This Spurs is very dependent on a single player. That's unlike Spurs.
See, I don't see it like that. I respect your I respect your point of view, but you know, we can agree to disagree. I believe that San Antonio, the main focus when it comes to them is health. If they're healthy, because they're up there when it comes to age. If they're healthy come April and May, I don't see any resistance on their way, because they're not relying on superstar-like numbers. So the fact that Kawhi Leonard is the one grabbing the headlines right now is very telling of Greg Popovich's system, because he was David Robinson, then he became Tim Duncan, then he became Manu Ginobili, then he became Tony Parker. So it's Kawhi Leonard's turn. Tony Parker, in a recent interview that was 3 days ago, clearly explained the philosophy behind Kawhi Leonard's emergence, and said, as long as he's this hot, we'll ride him, because they rode me, we rode Manu Ginobili, we rode Timmy. So the way the Spurs play, they're like I say, there was an article I tweeted to you early on when in the Mashable, and they were saying how the Spurs do not play a sexy game. They do not play a Vine game. They do not play a, oh my God, did you just see that kind of game. They're not on SportsCenter top 10. They just want to win. And it doesn't matter who scores the most. If it's Matt Bonner, if it's Marco Bellinelli, it doesn't matter.
Regis, I'm going to disagree, but we'll have that just before the playoffs. People watch out for that this week.
Absolutely.
Regis will be right back with Makeda with the latest news headlines after this short break.
ubu ngubu nshimishijwe no kuba mu Rwanda kuko harimo umutekano. Nkasaba buri wese yaba unyumva ari mu gihugu cyangwa ari hanze yacyo ko yashimishwa no kuba mu Rwanda kuko rufite umutekano kandi rufite amahoro.
Ubu ngubu ikiba kinejeje nuko nshimira n'u Rwanda no kubera ko hariho umutekano mwiza, kandi ikindi buri muntu wese abasha kumva ko afite agaciro. Ubu ngubu nkaba nshimira n'u Rwanda ko nkenera no kuba nanarubamo cyane kubera ko rufitemo amahoro.
Ubu ngenda shima u Rwanda kuko rwadukuye mu bihe bibi twari tugezemo, none ubu ngubu nkabona ko bitazongera, nkarushima kuko umutekano rwatanze ruhumuriza abantu, abari mu bwigunge rukabazamura, uri hasi rukamubasha kumushyira hejuru. Mu by'ukuri biratunezeza, njyewe ni icyizere ko tugiye gutera imbere, kandi no mu bigaragara u Rwanda rwaduteje imbere. Ubu umutekano warabonetse, yaba polisi y'u Rwanda, abasirikare n'izindi nzego bafatanyije kuyobora.
Nitwa Nitanga Sarto, amazina yanjye nitwa Nitanga Sarto, nararokokeye jenoside hano mu murenge wa Kimihurura. Jenoside rero imaze kurangira hagaritswe n'ingabo za RPF. Ubuzima bwari bugoye kuko hari imfubyi, abari abana bakiri batoya, hari abapfakazi batarafite ahantu baba kuko amazu yari yasenywe. Hanyuma leta y'ubumwe bw'abanyarwanda imaze kujyaho, tubona ukuntu yari twitayeho. Kutwitaho rero ari ikintu yakoze gikomeye cyo kubakira abasenyewe na jenoside, abapfakazi babonaho kuba, n'abana barafashwa, bararerwa, barakura. Hanyuma leta y'u Rwanda idufasha kubona amashuri. ibyo rero byaduhaye icyizere bishingiye ku bintu bibiri, kuri intellectual property na good governance. Ibyo nuko ari bibiri byatumye tugira icyizere cyo kubaho, kubera yuko iyo umuntu agize ubumenyi buhagije abasha kubaho akiteza imbere. N'imiyoborere myiza y'u Rwanda twabonye batweretse itagira amacakubiri, itagira irondakoko n'irondakarere, byatumye mu Rwanda twuma dufite icyizere cyo kubaho kugeza uyu munsi wa none.
Welcome back to Rise and Shine Rwanda. Let's take a look now at news-making headlines here in Rwanda and around the world.
His Excellency President Paul Kagame called on students to make use of the knowledge they acquire to transform the country. President Kagame was speaking at the University of Rwanda in Huye district as part of the Citizen Outreach Program. He challenged students to evaluate why little progress has been made in the decade since Rwanda gained independence and said that Rwandans deserved better than living off the wealth of others. During the event, President Kagame also paid tribute to victims of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi.
The Ministry of Health has reported a rise in the number of malaria cases across the country. Officials said the increase was due to the poor quality of mosquito nets and said the supply to the public will be done every 2 years rather than 3. The number of cases has risen to over 1,500,000 from last year's 950,000. Malaria is one of the deadliest diseases in Rwanda.
The East African Community Cooperatives Bill, which stands to benefit farmers in the region, is awaiting approval from the 5 heads of states of the EAC. The bill is expected to move the region's economies and people to new levels of social and economic development by unlocking the region's productive potential. Officials say the bill has the capacity to enhance the use of cooperatives and reduce unemployment in the region. Agriculture is the dominant sector in the 5 member states, followed by wholesale, manufacturing, transport, and communication.
And in international news, former U.S. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton announced that she is running for president in the 2016 to become the first female president of the country. Clinton launched her presidential candidacy through a video message and her campaign website. The video featured a number of Americans talking about their hopes and aspirations. She said that she wanted to be the champion for everyday Americans. President Barack Obama, who defeated her in the 2008 Democratic nomination, said Clinton would be an excellent president. Okay, lots more still to come. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Connect to Lusaka 3 times a week starting 27th March. Enjoy comfort and safety at affordable fares to 17 other destinations across Africa and the Middle East.
Fly our dream to the heart of Africa.
How can there still be genocide?
When lessons should have been learned. When we know how to stop and prevent it.
It simply should never have happened.
This is the light. The light of remembrance. The light of life. And as long as I live, the spirit of Rwanda will never die.
uko twari tumeze uko mbere igihugu cyari kimeze n'uko kimeze ubu ngubu biratandukanye cyane. Ubu ngubu turiga, abatari bafite ubushobozi bwo kwiga twabashije kwiga, bashyizeho 12 years umuntu arigira ubuntu nta kibazo, igihugu cyacu kiri gutera imbere.
Nishimira ibintu byinshi ariko ndavuga mu magambo atatu. Icyambere nishimira ni umutekano igihugu gifite, kuko umutekano w'u Rwanda ndabizi ni ntango mu aka karere ndetse nta myanya tubona. Icya kabiri nishimira ni agaciro igihugu cyacu gifite mu mahanga, kuko u Rwanda rufatwa ni iby'agaciro nta bitahesha agaciro. Icya gatatu nishimira ni umwe Abanyarwanda bafite. Abanyarwanda twunze ubumwe, kandi iyo mufite ubumwe byose mumusika, ahubwo muri make nishimira umutekano, agaciro igihugu cyacu gifite mu mahanga ndetse n'ubumwe bw'Abanyarwanda.
Ubu ngubu ibintu rwose ni byiza, bimeze neza, umuntu arireba muri leta akisangamo, nta kibazo kihabaye. Kagame yaduhaye amatungo n'ibindi byinshi, dore n'ubu twabonye n'umuriro, twabonye amavuriro bugufi yacu, twabonye amashuri bugufi yacu. Ibyo byose ni iterambere.
Welcome back to Rise and Shine Rwanda Lifestyle now. Makeda, what do you have for us?
I have a very, very cool project by an arts and culture organization, so you definitely want to stay around for that.
All right.
They say music is life, and one organization is planning on using sound to convey some powerful messages to the masses. Isho Art Center has plans to create what they call cathedrals of sound all over the country, so naturally I had to find out more. Come with me as I visit a rehearsal of a sonic project in the making. Established back in 2006, Isho Arts Center is the brainchild of artist Carol Caramera and a group of her colleagues, and is an ambitious organization that promotes art and culture in Rwanda.
Isho Arts Center is a local organization. We're an NGO trying to promote contemporary arts in Rwanda and make culture available for everyone. So we do training for professional artists, we do creation, production, we do advocacy work for the development of culture in Rwanda, and we try to play the role that Rwanda is already playing, is to be a bridge, a culture bridge between the past, the present, the future, and between Central Africa and East Africa.
Their latest project, entitled We Call It Love, involves music and intends to spread sound all over the country.
So We Call It Love is to try to discover this part of humanity in all of us, and to show the light and not only the dark side of the past. So we have 3 different levels. The first one was a show for little children from 4 years old to teach them how to think about the genocide, and because they feel everything. They feel that we are missing people in the city, in the country, and we try to see how we can work with this new generation and let them know what happened in the past. The second part is it's a dialogue between a woman who choose to give all the love that she had for her lost ones to the person who needs it the most, the person who killed her loved ones. And the last part is the biggest one. It's an installation, a multidisciplinary installation, mixing videos and sound. So we are trying to do a cathedral of sound to explore the Rwandan memory, but the musical, the sound of the nature, the voice, the words. And we would like to have this cathedral of sound moving all around the country. And I would like to see Rwandans coming in for 30 minutes, 2 hours, even sleeping in it, and listen to other people's memories or new memories that we're trying to do for the next generation, or maybe some music that we forgot. Some sounds from the past, really, because we work with 4 different generations of artists on that project, to see that memory in Rwanda is not only Chunamo. And Rwanda exists for more than 1.5 million years. So this is something that we try to recall and say that if we cherish that memory, if we transmit it, if we don't talk, if we just keep silence, and if we continue to cherish the unsaid, the future of Rwanda won't be so bright. So we're trying to help people to think about that and see if 21 years later we can have a different relationship with our own memory.
The group of artists involved in the project comprises of a mixture of experienced musicians and up-and-coming artists, all looking to make a mark on Rwandan culture.
It's about memory, so I like it. There's a part that will be saying the memory of the future. It's kind of abstract, but I like it because it's about telling the future, telling our kids what we want to tell them, and I really like abstract things. I really enjoy it.
I can give what I think could build the lives of people out there, because there's a therapy in remembering. There's a therapy in keeping the memory of those we loved, of everything we met on our ways. So for me, I think I'm going to help people to think about their future, but through thinking the past.
I'm a part of it, first of all, because it's about Rwanda, and it's about the genocide, and it's about peace, because as we remember, we are rebuilding our peace in our society. So as a Rwandan artist, I just have to use my arts to be part of Rwandan peace. Yeah.
The project is slated to begin this summer, and by the looks of this rehearsal, it's something not to be missed. Makeda Mahario, Rise and Shine Rwanda.
All right, Makeda, that's a great report. So what's the aim like? I mean, what are they trying to accomplish?
So basically what it is, it's they want to make, like she said, cathedrals of sound. And I think by that she means, different places around the country where you can go in and you'll hear all of the music that this group has prepared. And it's music that's supposed to be focused on, the past, and not just the genocide, but, even long before the genocide. And it's focusing on culture, it's focusing on where we are now, in the future, like you heard them singing about what we would want our kids to know and different things like that. And it's just supposed to be an overall experience, like installations all over the country.
Now, when you say experience, I mean, when you go there, what are you expecting to see, or what may happen? Are you going to stay over?
From what I understand, it's that, so when I say installation, I mean like there'll be different lights around and I suppose some pieces of art and things like that, and you'll be hearing the recordings of what they've prepared. So they've been actually planning this thing since January, and it's slated to start in July. And they've just been kind of putting things together, getting the ideas out there, and planning on how the things are going to look, how they're going to make them laid out and things like that. And they're putting a lot of thought into it. So I'm definitely excited for what's going to be happening. And as you can see, the group of people is quite an eclectic group of people. There are people that we've profiled here. As you saw, there was Maika Ihura, there was Mani Matan, there was Yadede. Yeah, so a lot of it's a great mixture of people. There's new people, there's people who are quite experienced. As you see, there was a little bit of training happening as well. So, it's something that I think, since there's so many voices involved, it's going to be something really powerful. And I love the fact that, they're involving younger people who have something to say, So
and that the youth can relate to. That's pretty good. But is it just music, or is it more than just music?
Well, the focus is on the sound. It's cathedrals of sound. So
it could be humming, for example.
Well, it's going to be, I think, songs. I mean, from what I gathered, because it's still in the making.
It's in the process.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's going to be, I think, different sounds. So I think there's might be humming, and I think it's going to be just whatever they come up with. I think we're going to have to wait and see what it's going to be. But I think it's going to be something definitely very exciting, something new, something we haven't seen before, and something, like all artists supposed to do, something that's going to evoke emotions and feelings out of people. So it's something that I'm definitely looking forward to. And I love Isho for that. Isho always has, innovative ways of bringing culture and art to the people. So it's something definitely to look out for.
July it is. I cannot wait.
Definitely. All right, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Don't forget, we love to hear your thoughts, comments, and feedback on what we're talking about here on Rise and Shine Rwanda. Tweet us at Rise and Shine RW. We're always looking out to see what you have in mind. Like us on Facebook and send us ideas for programs or comment on our sections or tag us. Check out our Rise and Shine Rwanda YouTube page where you can catch all the shows and reports that we upload daily. Follow us on Instagram. We're at Rise and Shine RW. We're always posting photos for you. Or check out our Rise and Shine Rwanda website. Well, that's all the time that we have for today, but don't forget that we love to hear your feedback, so do let us know if you have anything on your mind. You've been watching Rise and Shine Rwanda with me, Makeda Mahario.
And me, Regis Isheja. We'll be back here, same time, same place tomorrow morning, so do join us then. But for now, from the two of us and this great team here, have a great day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.